don't know how people without Arabic pray khushu. أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها? Would they not ponder over the Quran or their heart's hard? How can you ponder over something you don't understand? Our brother is just on the phone. He's on the phone during the khutbah. If he understood what the severity of what this Imam is saying, he wouldn't be on his phone right now. The best decision I ever made in my life was to learn the Arabic language. Arabic has got me serious doors unlocked. Like, there's wealth that I've been able to unlock that I would have never been able to unlock had I not spoke the language.
Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone to this small podcast that we have today. Today I'm with my brother Fawaz, who's an entrepreneur, who's recently moved to Dubai, or some people know as Dubai. And today we just want to look into what his life's been like moving into Dubai, how Arabic plays in his life in every day living in Dubai, and kind of see what it looks like for a Westerner coming to Dubai, for those that actually want to move here, right? So just briefly, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, طيب, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Fawaz, alhamdulillah. I'm an entrepreneur, alhamdulillah. I do business, alhamdulillah. I have multiple e-com stores set up, and I do performance coaching, of course, for Muslim entrepreneurs. Alhamdulillah, I started my journey in terms of moving across the different countries very, very early. It's been like 4 or 5 years now since I left the West, and it's been madness since then.
Yeah, subhanAllah. Before you came to Dubai, where were you before?
Before Dubai, I was in Morocco. Yeah,
Oh, mashallah.
I was in Morocco, and now.
Mashallah, I didn't know that. How long were you there for?
I was in Morocco for about 6 months. Alhamdulillah.
Okay,
Yeah.
mashallah. And then prior to that?
I was in Egypt, studying in Egypt. Yeah.
So your first Muslim country was Egypt, was it?
First Muslim country was Egypt, correct, yeah. I went in 2019 for I got shipped by my mum on like a little boot camp.
Yeah.
I think they had gone on for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And whenever I came back, I was just like, you know what, I need to jump back into this somehow.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really fully, the trip, that 6-week trip my mum actually shipped me on, walillah alhamd, is the thing that actually got me practicing.
Okay, mashallah.
A lot more, alhamdulillah, we learned a little couple Arabic, you know what I mean? Man had the shukran and the little Arabic terms. So I was like, you know what, after I got back, I started getting into practicing a lot more. And literally, I made the decision when I was in uni, like a year later. I was like, I finished my first year of uni.
Yeah.
And I told my dad, called him on the phone. I was like, listen, I'm going to study in Egypt for the next year. So my dad is a Nigerian who's in love with education. So they still well with him. But he goes, listen, wait until next year. And I had to have that little, like, look, Dad, I wasn't asking you. I was just letting you know. My visa is done, my flights are booked, I'm going. He's like, khalas khair. So that's when the journey started.
Yeah.
I never returned back to uni after that, but alhamdulillah.
SubhanAllah. And Egypt, how long were you there for?
I was in Egypt for about 2 years. Bit more than that, about
Mashallah.
2 years.
So you stayed quite a while. What area were you in?
I stayed quite a lot. I moved a lot in Egypt. So first I was in Medina al-Nasr. I stayed in Hay Sabit when I first landed. Then I moved to Hay Thamin. Then I moved to Misr al-Jadida, because Misr al-Jadida, Heliopolis, a little less tullab, a little less like poverty. So it's a bit less of a headache, but Egypt is Egypt at the end of the day, alhamdulillah.
Yeah. SubhanAllah, I actually spent, not long though, I was there for a little while, I think 2010. I was in Hay al-Rihab.
Okay,
and was studying Medina al-Nasr at that time. I was like, I just need to study Arabic, go further. I already had a basis, but I was like, I need to go out there. So that's interesting. You actually stayed there for 2 years. That's nice, mashallah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And when you were there, like, how were you in a markaz, or what were you doing there?
I started off in markaz. There was a markaz called Markaz Nil in Hay Sabit. I was about 3-4 minute walk from my house, my apartment at the time. So alhamdulillah, that's where I actually started off. But I think after the first mustawa, I was like, listen, this is a bit slow for me. Plus as well, I'm not gonna lie to you, man, I was very busy business-wise as well. I'm like, listen, I just to progress, things will go much faster. Let me just get a teacher to come to the apartment and do private lessons there. Yeah, so it was literally about a month, not more than that I did the markaz. Alhamdulillah, I excelled in markaz. It was a nice environment, to be honest with you, alhamdulillah. There was people that were slightly younger than me, people that were much older than me, so it was a healthy environment. I did make a friend, alhamdulillah. Made some friends with the brothers that, you know, I'm still close with till this day, subhanAllah. But yeah, it was a good experience, the Markaz. It was a good experience.
What's deep is at that time, what businesses were you doing at that time? I mean, what was your age roughly at this time now?
My age, I was young, just like early, just 20-ish, you know, at that point, early 20s in my life, alhamdulillah, late teens, something like that when I first moved. It's definitely teenager when I first moved, yeah.
Because, mashallah, you started business quite young, like your first business was what age?
First business was like 11 years old, but first proper thing where like it started driving me like serious revenue was 16. I made my first 100 grand at 16, alhamdulillah. I was doing eBay, alhamdulillah. So eBay used to obviously be popping back then. I used to sell like little chargers and stuff like that. Then it turned into like a proper tech store. I was known for the tech store. So alhamdulillah, we done very, very well. That came with its obviously pros and cons and whatnot, but alhamdulillah, eBay was the first thing that took off for me properly.
Yeah, subhanallah. So what's deep is that, you know, obviously you're young, and when money starts flowing in, when people are young, they can easily get distracted. Like, what actually made you say, you know, okay, I've got this money coming. I mean, 100 grand for like a teenager is big money. People getting distracted for 5 grand, 7 grand. So what made you say, even though this money's coming in, I need to learn the Arabic language. I need to go and do something for my deen?
I wish it was that straight a process, truth be told. The only thing that kept me away from fitna initially was I clocked how the fitna distracted me from business. So it wasn't really deen in the beginning, right? I knew like the more I'm wasting time, etc., the more like I can't focus on actual business. So I used to get rid of a lot of things. There's only one fitna that, you know what I mean, I couldn't I couldn't get rid of at the time. And it's every man's fitna, but you know what I'm saying? That was the only thing. Anything else of the friends and the stuff, I'm not gonna lie, I stopped chilling around like average, like roadie guys from very early. Like whenever the business started to pop off, you realize like man doesn't really need that, do you know what I'm saying? But what actually led to me going to seek Arabic, I remember I was just in uni, and at this stage, like I'm giving da'wah, alhamdulillah. Not da'wah in the streets, like in that way, but like I'm giving, obviously I'm started practicing, you know, I'm in uni, I've started uni, I'm fresh, you know, obviously I could speak as well, I'm very convincing. So me and one of my guys, Abdul Salam, who I actually started practicing with, we used to be in fitness together, but alhamdulillah, we started practicing the same time as well. He got shipped off on that trip as well with me. But yeah, once we got back, it was like, you know what I'm saying, we both had that feeling, we looked at each other like, it's time to pattern. You know, it's time to pattern. And I feel like that trip was the seed that was sown in terms of the Arabic language. And, you know, I remember being because we did a markaz, a famous sheikh, subhanAllah, I forgot his name. He's very, very famous in Egypt. When we actually got shipped off on that trip, we were actually sitting with him, you know, and he was doing Qur'an with us. And just, the eloquence, you know, even listening to him speak, even before it was translated, because he used to get translated, his English was quite weak. But I was just, you know, subhanAllah, you're like, wallah, it just sounds beautiful. Because it's different when like the Egyptians are speaking the Arabic versus when a mu'allim is speaking eloquently, is fasih. So, alhamdulillah, it was very, very enjoyable, alhamdulillah. But then when I was in uni, I was I was obviously studying a lot more the deen. Man this is nothing like just the taste of a little bit of Arabic I knew when I was learning it at the time, like after the 6 weeks in Egypt, made me 10x more into my deen.
Right.
Like it brought me in that much. Imagine I actually understood the language properly. So this is where I started to become like upset, like I started to become vexed, like you know, what am I doing in uni, bro? First of all, I've made enough money. Like, I remember they used to be like, I remember the first session, they're like, yeah, guys, if you do very good, you're looking at 40 to 50K a year. This man's monthly. Like, what am I doing here? So that's when I was like, listen, that can't work. I was like, but I need to study my deen. And I remember like, even my mum, I was speaking to her, I was like, I feel like a jahil in my own religion. Like, I feel like an ignorant person. I don't even fully understand my religion.
Right.
You know, and I remember there was specifically one Ramadan, and I'm seeing all the brothers next to me crying, and you know what I'm saying? And my friend, he's again a native Arab, but he's explaining some of the things to me, and I'm like, you know what, khalas. I think it was that night, or maybe the night after, where I booked my flights to go Egypt. And alhamdulillah, when you're about to make a decision like that, you have to realize that there's going to be In fact, probably nobody's going to be on your side. To drop everything that is going well and say, I'm going to go study Arabic in a different country.
Yeah.
It was a big shift. I remember my dad was on to me. My dad then got my siblings to chat to me and be like, basically, bro, get him off whatever is on. Yeah, my mom, not gonna lie though, she was like,
bit more encouraging.
I want a hafiz. I want someone who understands the deen of family. You know, she was trying to say it in a way where she didn't want to go against my dad, obviously. But she was making it clear, like, I won't be against you. And I'm not gonna, in fact, it was like low-key, like, so, alhamdulillah, like, you know, alhamdulillah with her blessings, like, I was comfortable. And I know, look, my dad had the great intentions, walillah alhamd. And, you know, he makes fun of me now for the fact I speak Arabic. Like, he's joking with me now, because, like, you know, sometimes, even though I'm in Medina with him, I'm communicating to everybody on his behalf and he's gassed. And he's like, alhamdulillah. So, sometimes initially, people are going to be a little bit reluctant of your decision, but it's a decision regardless you must make. You know, you must make it regardless. So, alhamdulillah, when I made that decision, I can 100% sit here and say, in hindsight, that the best decision I ever made in my life was to learn the Arabic language. And wallahi, I don't say that because this is etc. target. I tell people all the time, because even for what I do today, what unlocked everything for me was the Arabic language. And unless you have that key, there's a lot of doors you can't unlock, and you won't see it, you know, but trust me, like, you're a blind man. You're a blind man.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. So after you left Egypt, you then went, after that, where did you go back to?
So I went back to Ireland for a little bit. Honestly, I always say, everyone has a stage where they outgrow Egypt. This is a belief I have. Egypt, wallah, it's a beautiful country. There's so much khair in the country. There's also a lot of stress. Now, in the beginning, you have to ride it out, and I believe it's actually good. Like, I've seen a lot of boys turn men from Egypt. Right. And Egypt, till today, taught me experiences that I use in my day-to-day, that I'm glad I went through that stage of my life, walillah alhamd. But, you outgrow Egypt, and like Egypt is not very systematic. It's not very organized, and when you're looking to scale, grow your company, etc., like, it makes it very difficult to be in that kind of environment. And even like time I was losing used to annoy me. Every Uber or trip is a fight. Do you know what I'm saying? He's trying to scam, man. He's telling me, ittaqillah. It's funny because he's trying to scam me. He's telling me, for Allah. You know, you go through all these situations, and don't get it twisted, the Egyptians are amazing people. They're good ones. But so I was like, you know what, khalas, it's time. And a lot of my businesses started to have issues in Ireland. I needed to go back, organize, systemize certain things. So I remember I went back with my partner, Mohammed. He was actually still in Egypt at the time. I went back first for a couple months, for the month of Ramadan. I said, listen, let me just go try organize things. Inshallah, I'm back. You just hold it down. Because we had businesses we were handling from Egypt as well. Right. So I was like, listen, you hold it down, sort out everything. Because Egypt is not a place where you can leave your business blindly and let them, man, you know what I'm saying, take care of it. So I told him, you stay, listen, firm it, etc. So alhamdulillah, he's handling obviously things over there. I come back, I'm like, you know, I'm trying my best to stay in Egypt. When I left the lands of the Muslims, I told my parents that I'm gonna come back. I'm just taking what's it called? What they got? I'm just deferring a year. And I was gonna come back to uni. And in my mind, I'm never returning back to Bilal Kuffar. Never returning back to the land of the non-Muslims. This was a decision I made. But I just went back. I used to go in and out just to sort out business and come back or give da'wah, and because they used to invite me for talks, etc. After that, alhamdulillah, I came back to Egypt. I'm trying to stay. I moved to a new apartment. This is when I made the decision to actually move to Misr al-Jadida, at Heliopolis, out of the Medina to Nasser, because obviously there's a lot more older and more wealthy people over there. I'm less likely to get that kind of headache at a piff apartment, top of the range. I wasn't even paying, I think it was like $1,000, maybe $1.5 a month for a beautiful 3-bedroom, luxury, spacious, top of the art, just newly built. We're actually the first person in the apartment. And again, I'm trying, but it's like, I can't escape the Egyptian. I can't. No matter where I went, I couldn't escape it. So I was like, listen, if anything, like, this is taking man away from his purpose right now. That perhaps it's time. And I look at Mohammed, I do shura, and I'm having that conversation. It's like, look how much this is costing us. It's not even financial, it's just time, stress. It's even wasting our time with studies, etc. So khalas, maybe it's time for something else. So I go back to Ireland, we pack all of things, and you know, I remember some of my Egyptian friends and my business partners like, no, what are you doing with the Egyptian business? I was about to sell everything that's left. I told Kill Allah, you guys do your thing, but like I lost peas leaving Egypt, by the way, like a serious amount of money when I left Egypt. I couldn't hack it anymore. Couldn't hack it. For the next phase of my life, I outgrew Egypt. So that's when we went back to Ireland. And I feel like I started getting comfy in Ireland. You know what I'm saying? You start getting comfy back. We got the office quickly to handle things, and then Allah starts to put trials. Feds stop me for no reason. They're emptying the whole car. The office guys kick us out because we're wearing thobes every day into the office. We're in some bougie area. These young guys strolling up to some bougie office. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like sort of like the Canary of Ireland. Do you know what I'm saying? Strolling up in our thobes. So the office guys, they didn't really like that. So anyway, they found 1-2 excuses. They booted us out. So it's like so many things happened in like a week where I started to get comfortable. Allah's like, don't forget your promise. You're not supposed to be here. So that's why I'm like, yeah, let's dip Morocco. So then literally, I think the next day we got kicked out of the office. I called Mohammed. I was like, yeah, pack your bags, bro. Yeah, we go to Morocco. I told my cameraman at the time who was handling my marketing, like, you pack your bags as well. We're leaving, the flight is booked for tomorrow. He's gonna look at me like, are you crazy? I was, bruv, there's nothing else here for us. What we were only here for a little in-between stage. The in-between is done. It's cut. Let's get out. So alhamdulillah, I moved to Morocco. Morocco was good. It was very, very good. But there's a problem in Morocco. First of all, I got to practice my Arabic a lot more in Egypt. Sarahatan, Egypt forced me to learn Arabic. You have no choice in Egypt. If you don't learn Arabic, you can't survive in Egypt. You know, there's no life. You can't buy water. They don't know water, bro. The majority of them, the truth be told. Even with numbers, and Egypt is one of them, you have to be clued on as well. So it's like, first of all, none of them speak English. And second of all, you're gonna get bumped if you don't understand the language. So yeah, with Egypt, you have to clue on fast. So alhamdulillah, is when I was like, you know what? All right, cool. Morocco is not doing it for me as well. There's no knowledge, bare weirdness going on in the masajids. You know what I'm saying? We see weirdness in Egypt, but it was here and there, certain areas. But in Morocco, a lot of it's weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
which area were you in?
I was in Marrakesh. I was in Gillies, which a lot of people are gonna go because it's like the center, the center. But even then we moved to Ajnan Awrad, which is slightly better. But again, in the masjids, they have a little bit of weird stuff here and there. It's not too weird, alhamdulillah, but it's still a bit weird from my side. But so alhamdulillah, I was just like, listen, I'm enjoying Morocco, but there's no seeking knowledge here. Like, I can't find them stairs. I can't find like basic things. I ask, certain stairs, I used to ask them like trick questions to see what they're on, basically, like to understand, like, and they would give me the most fluff answers where I'm like, I actually can't study on this guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not even like, I'm not even one of the extreme ones, you know what I mean? The special groups, but it's just like, bruv, this is like basically, like, man can't study under you, basically. So I had to dip away from that, unfortunately, as well. And even, by the way, one of the things that people don't understand, I'm actually conscious of who I study the Arabic language from. Even though it's just Arabic. People never understood this with me. But one of the reasons why I'm conscious of who I take Arabic knowledge from, even though it's like, it's nothing to do with like necessarily Islamic studies, is because first of all, like, you learn adab and akhlaq, you learn it from your teacher. And either way, he's gonna end up slipping in certain things of his views, and I don't want that to corrupt me, basically. So I was like, certain guys, although yes, it's just Arabic, I can't study under my man. So this is when I realized, and then it was like, it's time finally for Dubai. And I was running away from Dubai for ages. I don't know why. Maybe, Dubai, you feel like you need a certain level of readiness in your mind. But it's the same thing with me and Mohammed always. Before we decide to like push to a country, we'll go there. Yeah, it's expensive, but we'll rent like an Airbnbs and whatever there for like 2-3 months. Clock what life there is actually like. So that's what we did in September.
Okay.
We came here. We spent some time, we lived here for like 2-3 months, tested everything out, got to know certain areas. We literally Airbnb hop. So one day we're in Marina, I'm sure you can understand why we didn't stay there. Then we're staying in areas that are close to Sharjah, we're staying in JVC, stayed in Jeddah until I realized that, cool, this is the spot. So then, alhamdulillah, I went back to Morocco, finished a bit of things, closed off the cases. Again, businesses there as well, closed off everything. Alhamdulillah, businesses there are still running. It's a country where you can actually leave things to run without your constant intervention, and hopefully most likely it's not going to turn into a heist, but alhamdulillah. So that's when we ended up in Dubai. Walillah alhamd.
Alhamdulillah. So mashallah, so September you came to Dubai. When you came here, did you think that I'm gonna learn Arabic here or practice Arabic here?
No, really and truly, I've been coming to Dubai now for a while, visiting in and out, and I think you probably do more in this country with Urdu than you would with Arabic, truth be told, right? Because a lot of the people you're interacting with are either from the Asian, like Pakistani or Indian, of that background, or you're dealing with the Filipinos who again speak English, and brothers here all speaking. Everyone here speaks English. It's like, you'd probably have more trouble in this country with Arabic and no English than English without Arabic.
Yeah. That's quite interesting, because a lot of people, they think that, okay, I'm gonna go Dubai, I'm gonna learn Arabic. Like, a lot of people think they will practice Arabic if they came to Dubai, but I was actually shocked, because when I came here, I came from Saudi, I came from Mecca, and I was just automatically speaking to the workers in Arabic, and they were just looking at me dumbfounded, like, what are you saying? Then I speak to them in English, and then they can communicate with me, which is the opposite to Mecca. Mecca is like how you mentioned Egypt. If you don't know Arabic in Mecca, you're getting nowhere. You aren't getting nowhere. You have to speak Arabic. So I found that it was different. It was definitely a different experience. It's like everyone just English. Even when you speak to people in Arabic, a lot of them don't understand. So that was quite interesting. Like, I just want to dig a bit deeper into your life right now as an entrepreneur, and mashallah, you've scaled some businesses. Do you still have time? Do you still practice Arabic now? Have you kind of put it on the back burner for now?
No. I honestly, while I was in between a couple of things, it did become, but Arabic is one of those languages, if you do not train it, it starts to wear. You can feel it wearing. So, conversations that I used to have very, very fluidly when I was in Egypt, beautifully. I used to I didn't even recognize myself. I sometimes I think back to the day, was like, when was the day where I actually clocked, like, I can speak Arabic? Sometimes it's still like, you don't realize, like, I have another language, like, I have a whole new language in my locker, but subhanAllah. But alhamdulillah, back studying, walillah alhamd. Every time I've ever went away from the Arabic language, I've felt it, to say the least. I've felt it. Arabic language is one that is beautiful, and it's one that is to be studied. And one thing you have to realize, it's directly correlated with your deen, right? 100%. Whatever level you ever seek to achieve in deen, no, you can't achieve it without unlocking a new level also of the Arabic language.
What would you say, like, from your experience, stops people from learning the Arabic language? Most, like, the Muslims in the West.
Yeah, I think, it's what I always tell people is, if you knew what was behind certain doors, you would fight to open them. And I just believe people just don't understand, and it's not your fault or my fault. You can't explain it. There's certain things that you can't explain until you see it, until you taste it. I will never be able to do justice to explaining the importance and the benefit and the sweetness you taste in your deen after you learn Arabic. And I'm not even going to try to. Honestly, really and truly, I don't even want to attempt to explain it. But I can assure you, whoever doesn't seek to learn or isn't practicing to actually thrive and grow in Arabic, wallah, you're a loser. And there's no other way for me to scream. You are a loser. Like, this is your language. And I hate when people say Arabic is for the Arabs. I didn't learn Arabic for no Arabs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned Arabic for me, because at the end of the day, the Prophet ﷺ, whether you like it or not, is an Arab. And the Qur'an came in Arabic. Like, whether you like it or not, whether you want to accept it or not, whether you're national, whatever, the truth of the matter is the Qur'an was revealed in Arabic. Therefore, it's a duty upon you to study what your own deen was revealed in. Otherwise, you can't tell me you're not a stranger in your own religion. You don't understand it.
SubhanAllah, that's deep. When you started learning, can you remember a time when you actually started understanding your prayers?
Yeah, subhanAllah, one of the beautiful things is, because obviously I'm doing durus with my sheikh as well. And he's saying certain words, and normally what's he used to saying certain words and then translating them. And then, subhanAllah, like now before he even translates some of these things that he's explaining, or he's reading something, before he explains the line after, I'm like, Naam Sheikh fahimt. I understand. So, and even in Salah as well, I remember there was specifically, I even wrote about it, subhanAllah. You know, I used to do a lot of writing when I was in Egypt, in English. I actually wrote a poem about chess while I was studying in Egypt, but it was, you know, using chess as an analogy, not so much the game of chess. But I used to write a lot when I was seeking knowledge. I used to write. This one habit I picked up when I was in Egypt, I used to write a lot. And I still remember the moment that I actually clocked. I would actually love to pull it out, inshallah. It's a written piece. It's called 4 a.m. Yeah. This was when I realized that I could understand the Arabic language. You know, I remember writing it. Yes, this was written on the 22nd of October, 2021. I talk about everything, and you know, at this stage of the poem, I'm mixing in English and Arabic words, right? So it's like, you know, this was how I used to practice my Arabic as well. So it's like, I glance at the clock, 10 minutes till Adhan, only right I use this time for Qur'an. I picked up my Mus'haf for revision of Surah Baqarah, reading, trying to translate in my head. I couldn't understand it 100%, but I had a decent fikrah. Was on verse 22, pondering about Azwajun Mutahhara. When I heard the beautiful Iqamah, so I placed the Mus'haf on the shelf, first saf, feet to feet, shoulder to shoulder. Ammu's moving kind of slow, his knees are weak, he's becoming older. I remember there's Ammu I used to pray beside, Ammu Abdul Hakim, beautiful guy. And then here's me quoting again the Arabic I've learned. A reminder to take advantage. Shababaka qabla haramik. We will all be tested with old age. Wasihataka qabla sakamik. Your body will become a cage. Gassed, my favorite Imam steps up to lead Salah. His voice is cold and prepared to ponder. MashaAllah, his Surah Fatiha gave a loud Ameen, like a single brother when he hears Zawja Salihah Ameen. He then chooses Infitar. Soft voice, he reciting it bar for bar, I can understand. So each verse is hitting my heart. But it's when he gets to the part, وَمَا هُمْ عَنْهَا بِغَائِبِينَ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ. I nearly burst into tears. Allah emphasizes it again. ثُمَّ مَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ. In my heart, I know I'm not doing things right. My iman's been a mess. The constant question in my head of, if I die today, would it be heaven or hell? Got to break out of shaitan's spell. Now I'm in my sujood. It starts, Ya muqallib al-qulub. Keep my heart firm in your deen. You know, escaping from my actions, there's kiram and katibin, ya'lamuna ma taf'alun. I need to stop the things I'm doing. And then, you know, it continues.
That is so deep,
yeah.
SubhanAllah. That is so deep, akhi.
That was the first moment.
I'm even getting shivers, subhanAllah. That's a deep poem, bro.
Yeah.
And subhanAllah, when you were reciting that poem, it remember like those ayat you're reciting, like they're deep, akhi. When you're behind the imam and you can actually understand what that imam's saying, or when you're reciting it in the mushaf, there's the feeling nothing can amount to it. Like it's amazing, subhanAllah.
I'll never forget that day.
Yeah.
Wallahi, I don't think I can. I remember just, even when I hit you, just making that broken Arabic, you know, subhanAllah. Yeah. But it was such a meaningful moment to me that, like, you know, it's actually a piece that I read back frequently on, because that was probably the day I was like, this everything I ever did up until this moment was worth it. Because I cut a lot of things out about the journey to Egypt, but Egypt wasn't easy, man. Especially in the beginning. I had so many issues. I couldn't communicate with people. I was living in an apartment on my own. I knew basically nobody there. There was so much trials, but that poem that's titled 4 a.m. is the day, like, I knew it was worth it. I knew it was worth it.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Jazakallah khair for sharing that, man. And for the, like now you're saying you're doing lessons kind of online, right, with your sheikh. Yeah. How's that going?
Alhamdulillah, it's good. Lil-asaf shadid, because of that silly break I took, and I ask Allah to guide me. There's a lot of things now that I'm playing catch up on that I already even knew, subhanAllah, and I'm going through and I feel so ashamed that, subhanAllah, I've already passed this mustawa. Like, I was already past this, like I could, but this is lil-asaf the problem when you leave the language. Like listening, my listening hasn't changed. Yeah. Yani, whenever I listen, I still understand the same way I used to understand from the beginning. That hasn't changed. But in terms of like my speaking and the eloquence, this is للأسف الشديد it's changed dramatically.
Right.
And it's one that I'm fighting to now get back to the standard it was.
Yeah. But mashallah, akhi, that's still inspirational. Like, obviously, you're concentrating on your business, but you're still finding time to speak to the sheikh. And that's why I like online. Online. Like, I think online, no matter what lifestyle you're going through, you can find time, whether it's an hour a day, to just do something online. But Egypt, not everyone can go Egypt. Like, that's a whole, you got to change your whole lifestyle. You got to get up and leave. You got to now go to another culture.
It's not feasible for everybody.
Yeah, it's not feasible. Yeah. But like, with online now, you can literally just get your sheikh, you can literally sit down and you can be like, okay, let's go through this book, which is nice. Would you say that running a business, would you say that's distracting you a little bit from Arabic?
It was before I changed a lot of things. In truth, not only did it distract me from Arabic, it destroyed my Arabic. Because when I was in Egypt, I was communicating with them for business. I had to do it in Lahja. Right, so I'm speaking Lahja with them, and Lahja Misriya, yani the Egyptian dialect, that takes you away from Fusha, takes you far away from Fusha. You know, you start saying Masjid, you start with the Gins and the Ahwa, you know, you don't pronounce the Qaf anymore, so it destroyed my Arabic, subhanAllah, when I started doing business. I remember I would be in front of my ustad the next day. I'm after negotiating a deal for like 4 hours. That's how it is in Egypt, wallahi. When you're doing business, you're negotiating a deal for like 4 hours. I'm back with my ustad, and it's just normal. It's second nature to me now. I've just done a 4-hour shift of this yesterday, so I'm speaking to him, I'm like, aywa ustad. Fam. I'm speaking on, and all he's just saying, he's like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And I remember every time I'd speak Lahja, he used to look at me like, So I was like, reprogram my brain. So it was hard because on one end, by the way, I could speak Fusha with him, but I'll get bumped. So I have to speak.
They know straight away.
Yeah, exactly. I have to speak the Egyptian dialect. You know I'm foreign, but at least they understand. I used to even study Egyptian, how do I call idioms, like, you know, the phrases they would have, like abigni, tagidni, all these different phrases they'd have to show that I understand the country.
Culture,
yeah, I understand. I'm here. Don't try it. You know, you have to in Egypt. You have to. But so yeah, it did distract me. But alhamdulillah, wallahi, having a business now, I would say when you learn how to use that thing, and it's just like anything in life, it's a distraction if you allow it to distract you. But if you learn how to use that thing in order to enable you, and alhamdulillah, business now yani, allows me to be able to, because again, alhamdulillah, we've systemized a lot of the businesses. I've taken a lot of the stress of certain things. I only do, the things I do in my company now are the only things that I can do. It means there's no man on earth who can do other than me. This is the way I've been strict, because look, yani, at the end of the day, like Allah mentions in the Qur'an, فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ, right? Where are you going? And we know where we're going. Truth be told, we know where our end is. Therefore, when I actually thought about it and decided like what is the end, then I started to optimize for that end, and everything else becomes, you know, a path to that end rather than the end itself.
Yeah, subhanAllah. Yeah, that's inspirational, because a lot of people, when it comes to the dunya, they lose vision. And alhamdulillah, like, blessing from Allah, you still haven't lost the vision. You're still like, I still need to go to my sheikh. I still need to go back to this. Even though, and that's reality, on this path, you're going to have ups and downs. You might just divert a little bit. But as long as you got in the back of your mind, you need to get back on that path and back to that destination. That's all that matters. And I would say, I just want to ask, like, in terms of like, the Qur'an as well, has Arabic helped you in terms of memorization? Like,
Yes. Well, I used to be so bad when it came to memorization. I struggled to memorize, even, you know, because I was just so conscious, even like pronouncing some of these letters. You know, obviously, in Nigerian background, there's no ha and her. We don't use none of those letters. You know, I don't know ayn, alif, like all of this. I was struggling in Egypt for weeks. By the way, I was struggling in Egypt for weeks. You know, and my teacher would correct me so much. It got to a point where I knew it wasn't right, but he said, just go, yani. It's better. Like, you slowly get that. Alhamdulillah, you know? SubhanAllah. Like, that's how bad it was. That it was just, like, I wouldn't be able to finish a verse, like a verse had he point out every point, but he just used to, again, remind me, reinforce them until, but wallahi al-azim, yani, the beauty of, sometimes I'm reciting, like, wallah, I forget even helping me with the memorization. Of course it did, but wallah, connection with Allah, I was not able to unlock this. I don't know how people without Arabic pray with khushu. I'm confused. How do they pray with khushu? How can you pray with full concentration, saying something and you're aware of what you're saying? You know, one beautiful moment in my life as well, you know, subhanAllah, it was much later, it was like a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I went for one of Sheikh Abdurrahman Hassan's durus in UK, in I think Bradford, Muhammadi Masjid or something like this, you know. And I remember they were listening to Ustad Abu Taymiyyah, there was a talk of his playing, or I think one of his Qur'an recitations. I was sitting down somewhere completely away from the TV. I wasn't listening, you know, somewhere away. And then I hit فَإِنَّهُمْ عَدُوٌّ لِي إِلَّا رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ الَّذِي خَلَقَنِي فَهُوَ يَهْدِينِ وَالَّذِي هُوَ يُطْعِمُنِي وَيَسْقِينِ. I'm listening to this from the other side. I guess my head just becomes like, I can't even remember what I was doing at that time. Just like, what did I just hear? What did I just hear? Obviously, you know, I memorized that in like flipping, I think a day. I memorized the page, the page and 2 pages that came after it. Because wallah, I heard it, I was like, subhanallah, beautiful, right? Like sometimes as well you feel alone, like everyone's your enemy, right? فَإِنَّهُمْ عَدُوٌّ لِي إِلَّا رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Everyone's my enemy except for what? My Lord. And he's mentioning all the khair Allah has done for him. الَّذِي هُوَ يُطْعِمُنِي. How beautiful, how eloquent. الَّذِي هُوَ يُطْعِمُنِي وَيَسْقِينِ. The one who feeds me, food and drink, you know? وَالَّذِي هُوَ يُطْعِمُنِي وَيَسْقِينِ وَإِذَا مَرِضْتُ فَهُوَ يَشْفِينِ. And when I'm sick, he's the one who cures me. And just the verse, أَتْمَعُ أَن يَغْفِرَ لِي خَطِيئَتِي يَوْمَ الدِّينِ. The one who I hope is going to forgive me. Wallahi, I remember just, it's like, boom, at my heart, you know? Up until he reaches on the stage, you know, and this is where, wallahi, I couldn't control the tears as I'm listening, you know? He's like, subhanAllah, he's the best, yes, he's talking about his parents. He's asking Allah, forgive my father, إِنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الضَّالِينَ. SubhanAllah, he's asking Allah, do not embarrass me in this life or in the hereafter. He mentions that, يا رب اللهم واغفر لأبي إنه كان من الضالين ولا تخزني يوم يبعثون يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله. Wallahi, that's when I lost. You know, he's saying, on the day where your wealth, your children, he's asking, well, don't embarrass me on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. On the day where your wealth and your what? Your children, they have no benefit to you. إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. Apart from the one who comes to Allah with a sound heart. Just these moments, you know, I look back on and wallahi, I'm thankful I made that trip. I decided to study the Arabic language. Wallahi, I become so thankful in moments like these sometimes where even when I'm not paying attention, I'm forced to pay attention because of the power. And it just reminds you, like Allah mentions in the Qur'an, had we revealed this on top of a mountain, it would have crumbled. You feel it in those moments.
Yeah, subhanAllah, that's so deep, akhi, man. That's really deep. And this is the thing, when you said that, I remember one time I was teaching English. This is when I was in Saudi Arabia. And I was speaking to one of the Saudi students, and he said, you know, and this was nothing to do with Arabic, but he just brought it up. He said, you know, when we go to the prayer, you know, we're blessed that we know the Arabic language. He said, when we go to the prayer, you know, sometimes the Imam will just say one ayah, just one ayah, you'll hear one ayah, and it will make him change 360. Like he'll literally, if he's going astray, he'll hear one ayah, and he'll just put him back on the straight path. So like, yeah, subhanAllah, like it's like, without the Arabic language, you literally can't get that khushu', you're not reminded. The salah, it's for a dhikr. If you're going 5 times a day to the masjid, even if you're going, let's say you can't get all your prayers in the jama'ah, when you stand behind that imam, you're supposed to be reminded, but you're not. It's just a blank wall, and then what happens is, all that comes into your mind is, okay, I've got some bills to pay, what am I doing later? Oh yeah, I was supposed to meet my brother, I was supposed to do this, that. Your brain has got nothing to do with the salah at that point. And that's why I'm so passionate to help the Muslims. You have to learn the Arabic language. If you don't learn the Arabic language, there's a barrier between you and your religion, and you can't break down that barrier without the Arabic language. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, akhi, man. Like, it's actually extremely deep. Alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed you, and may Allah continue to bless you in your businesses. but you still find in this time, you still got this thing like, no matter what I do, I need to keep on that track. I need to get back on that track. A lot of Muslims, these are common things we hear. We'll say, oh, I don't have time, I'm busy, I got work, I got family. Some of them think they're too old. Some of them, some of them don't even know the importance of learning the Arabic language. If you could just give one advice to anyone watching this video when it comes to the Arabic language, what would it be?
You know, the other day, just to reference the point I'm about to make. The other day I was going through the book Al-Fawaid by Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah with my sheikh, you know, and there was actually a moment I sat there and I just stopped. I said, Ya Allah, thank you. I just, sometimes you just shukr, like your heart just submits in that moment where it's like, thank you for giving me the understanding of this language. Thank you for allowing me, because I see people, unfortunately, I see them. Sometimes even you're at the Jummah khutbah here, your head. Wallahi, I was at Jummah the other day, just yesterday. Our brother is just on the phone. He's on the phone during the khutbah, you know? And wallahi, I can tell, Akid, he doesn't understand language. Highly understood, he would never pick up something like this. Forget all the other things, of course, we know he shouldn't do it Islamically as well. He steals from his Jummah. But even like I said, if he understood what the severity of what this Imam is saying, he wouldn't be on his phone right now. He would feel ashamed to pick up the phone, you know? And I can't tell you guys like how many moments in my life where I've really thought, wallahi, alhamdulillah, I learned the Arabic language. And because I did it for Allah, it benefited me in dunya and akhirah. And inshallah, it benefits me in akhirah. But it's benefiting me in my deen and my dunya. Arabic has got me serious doors unlocked. Like, there's wealth that I've been able to unlock that I would have never been able to unlock had I not spoke the language. You know, people have decided because they feel that comfort, etc. But even if all you're doing it for is the sake of the akhirah, wallahi, it's enough. Because guys, I'm telling you, I feel sorry, like you don't understand, Yani. I feel for you. I feel sorry for you, Yani. I look at you as genuinely a miskeen when you don't understand Arabic. I feel so sorry for you. And even us, we desire to learn higher levels of Arabic. We desire to have that highest level to a point where, you know, we're able to read these works and derive different meanings, etc. It's high levels. But even to not be able to understand when you recite in Salah, guys, it's a shame. It's wallah, it's a shame. I don't know what to tell you. I feel sorry, I feel pity for you. I'm sorry for you. And I don't know why you would not take that step. I don't know what is worth learning if not the Arabic language. Wallahi, put business aside. If Allah was to take everything away from me, I ask that He doesn't take away my language, you know? Because the Arabic language, because this is the thing that has opened doors for me, guys, in my deen. Whatever realm, and this is what I always constantly hear people sometimes, you know, sometimes people tell me, Wallahi, Fawaz, I feel low in Iman. You know, I told them, go study Arabic. Because whatever else is, you don't even need to be guided through all these things. Sometimes you just pick up a book in Arabic.
Qur'an, that's it.
The Qur'an, and you just read a verse, wallah, you think.
Literally.
And look at what Allah mentions. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنُ أَمْ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Would they not ponder over the Qur'an or the heart's hard? How can you ponder over something you don't understand?
Right.
So it's no wonder the hearts are hard. How can you ponder over that which you have zero understanding of? You know, subhanAllah.
That's deep. Alright. Jazakallah khair, man.
Allah
Appreciate it, bro, man. Yeah, so this is our brother Fawaz, mashallah. Make sure I'll leave his handle, inshallah. Make sure you check him out, mashallah. Brother's scaling a lot of business, and he's still, and I really respect when a brother is striving for both his deen and his dunya. Even though he's busy, being business owner, having multiple business, not easy. It's not something easy, and he's still finding time to dedicate it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And like what Fawaz said here, that even though he focused on his deen and the Arabic language, it opened up so many doors. And maybe in another podcast I can go through this. I got so many stories of brothers who only went to memorize the Qur'an, and Allah opened up doors that they would have never imagined. I've got real case studies of so many brothers. When they were going back to their home countries, their family were laughing at them. You went here, you studied Qur'an, you studied Arabic. What have you got? You got no degrees, you got nothing. Little did they know, whether 6 months later, a year later, that Allah was going to open up so many doors for them. Successful entrepreneurs today that I know. So Jazakallah khair akhi, for inspiring us and sharing that with us, and inshallah we'll end the podcast here inshallah, and I hope everyone that's watching benefits from this podcast. If anyone wants to master Arabic language, we have, as we we have Ijada Institute Arabic Proficiency Program. We have you can check the description as well, inshallah, click that link. And for those that are still thinking about it, I'll just leave with one message. Ask yourself, how do you want to spend the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years of your life, with your Ramadans going past, with your salawat, every salah that you're praying? How do you want to spend the next 20 years? How do you want to be in relation to you and your Lord, relation to you and your du'as, relation to you and the Qur'an? How do you want to spend that? And I'll leave that with that, inshallah.
Just want to mention one quick point, key one. I sat down with you a couple months ago, and I know you won't say it, but I'm going to say it for you, Allah barak. A lot of brothers sell different things, they got different things. There's very few brothers that really care about, number one, what they sell and the people who they sell it to.
Right.
And I was even showing you, like, there's so many ways to optimize, etc., etc. You're like, look, for me, the first thing is the product. The first thing is the product, and making sure we have a product that achieves results. And that's what I strive and make sure of every day, and ensure of. And Allah barik, I've seen multiple, even some of my clients I've studied Allah barik with Ijada Institute. Some of my closest friends I've studied with Ijada Institute, and I've seen the growth, subhanAllah. So I ask Allah to put barakah in what you do. But if I was to ever go and work and put my money into somebody, wallahi, I'd want someone just like Ijada Institute, who sees that, he doesn't just see me as a client or customer, but rather actually desires for me to learn. He cares about the product he sells and the people he sell it to. And wallahi, this is something we need a lot more in the ummah. So I ask Allah to bless you and to bless the team and increase you, because what you're doing is needed. It's something that's lazim, it's mandatory.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair akhi.
May Allah bless you. Barakallah feek.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.